Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm Michelle Vickers, and this is part 77 of the story of creation. So, we have been communicating with the Creator, as you well know, and today with the Creator and with all the universal beings that created humanity. And today we've got, again, angelics, same as part 76, both first stream and second stream. But it's interesting. So in the beginning of the second stream, so the second stream angelics were, they're created. So again, angelics were created too. They didn't just poof out of nowhere, right? Everything is created, and creation comes through intention, which we've learned in past episodes. But it's understanding that at the beginning of the second stream of angelics journey, okay, so they were tasked with creating experience. And as a result of that intention, they wanted to create something different than what was here before. So this is really important to understand. The angelics wanted to create something different, the second stream. Now, this is very cool actually, because we're going to learn a lot of cool things. So, which they've never shared with me in this way before. So, hence there's going to be some pauses as I'm feeling into all the energy and allowing it to come together into words. So ultimately, at the time the second stream were created, so at this point you've got in creation, okay, you've got the Creator himself, and you've got first stream angelics. There were star beings. And so when I say star beings, what they're showing me is beings who came from other universes, but who were aligned with the intention of this universe. Okay. So at that point, only the first stream angelics were here. They were tasked with matter. Now, matter, okay, is a compilation of energetic vibrations that come together, right? We talked about that also, the concept of magnetism. So magnetism is basically the foundation that was used to create matter. So that's, the first stream angelics are masters in magnetism, in understanding that concept, okay? And so ultimately, now you have this second stream of angelics. So the Creator as well as the first stream angelics were like, okay, so we've created matter, but now we need to know what to do with it. And this is where they became aware, right? So again, it's not just the Creator, right? This whole story of creation that, the Creator was the one who decided everything and he sits up there and he's like watching over his creation like a king. It's not how that works. So, he created this intention. Now these angelics create this matter and create all of this opportunity, because that's ultimately what matter is. And so at that point, they became aware that, okay, we need more information, okay, to help us understand how evolution can occur from what we've already created. So what do you need? Well, you need creatures, beings, souls who are now going to play and use your creation, because that will tell you what it needs to evolve. Okay, makes sense? This is vital to creation. This is the essence and the reason. So again, together, the Creator and the first stream angelics, okay, they had created the concept of matter and brought things together, but they didn't have a reason for it to exist. So the basis and the essence of it existed, but now they needed a reason for it to exist, and different reasons. Okay. So this is how different universes were created, right? This is how there would be different, because again, each of the planets, guys, they're also universal beings, they're conscious beings. And so they hold vibrations, all the stars, everything. Okay. So as soon as you've got gases and, different matter coming together, that's a being. It's now a created experience in existence. Because guess what? So are you. You're a combination of matter. We've talked about this in a past episode as well. So now they're starting to bring all the pieces together. So it's really about understanding that creation and experience go hand in hand. This is the whole concept of being an explorer. Okay. And so, in order for matter to evolve from just a concept of a whole bunch of, these different substances coming together, we had to create a reason for them to come together. So they created beings who would create all kinds of different reasons. So now you've got Jupiter and you've got Earth and you've got all the moons and all the different planets. You've got black holes. You've got all these consciousness, okay? All these conscious beings that are feeding consciousness is how that actually works. And so as they came into being. Now, this is also important because there's a number of different universes. Okay. We're not going to go into all of that today because honestly, like we would need lifetimes in our current span, which is why, right? Humans don't have limits to how long we're here, but that's another story. What we are talking about today is the concept of understanding how important you are to existence. Okay. So you were created as a soul to explore not just Earth, but this particular universe. Okay. And so now just bear with me for a minute because this doesn't mean, you're meant to go and colonize Mars. That's not what we're talking about. Okay. It's about understanding that you as a soul have more awareness of the universe and existence than the way they're saying it is then you know what to do with. And why they're saying it that way is because we're meant to overflow with awareness. We're meant to. Why? Because the more information you have, okay, the more inspired you become. That's why what we were talking about in part 76 was understanding how to follow what's of interest to you, right? And it's also understanding your reason for existence, your purpose, if you will. Okay. I don't like that word because it really, it brings up this feeling of this is a job description and I need to perform and I'm going to be, graded and reviewed on my, it's not production, but on my, you know what I mean, right? On your work, right? And so ultimately, what we're trying to get away from is that concept of judgment, right? That concept that no one is watching over you, over your shoulder, saying, wow, Michelle, you did a really crappy job here. Wow, Jennifer and Wynn and Barbara, you guys, you really, you didn't quite nail that. And maybe you could do a better job. No one's doing that. Okay. What the creator and all the angelics and all the universal beings in awareness are doing is going, huh, look what Jennifer just did. That is so cool. Oh man. Okay. So she's working in this direction and this is what she's interested in. We are going to make sure that the right people who can help her with that show up in her space. We're going to make sure that people who are also interested in what she's interested in are just going to notice her. They're going to pay attention to her. They're going to participate because they're already doing that. Okay. So this goes back to energy that you're broadcasting. Okay. And it's vital for you to understand that your participation in existence is a result of everything, like, right, everything that comes to you is a result of who you're being. So the universe is watching you so it knows what you need. That's why the universe is watching. Okay. And so it's not watching you to judge you. It's not watching you to grade you, to review your performance. It is paying attention to the minute details, the ones where you feel lonely, where you feel angry or upset, or you don't feel like you're enough. Okay. Because these are the moments where the universe goes, oh, you need a reminder how incredible you are. And so it sends you a challenge. The universe sends you a challenge to say, remember who you are? Yeah. Remember to use your voice in the right way. Remember how to feel truth and share it with purity and joy and compassion and respect. You know, we live in a world that we've been told is very three-dimensional. There's nothing deeper. You can't understand what someone's going through. Of course you can. 100% you can understand what everyone on the planet is going through. So we've got this belief you can't understand what people are going through. And yet there's every human in existence who is feeling too open, too empathetic, too exhausted and run down. Why? Because you're feeling what everyone's going through. So instead of passively feeling, okay, it's time to feel with intention. That's how the universe is created, with intention, feeling with intention. That's what they want you to understand today. So when they feel, right? So when the creator in the first stream angelics went, okay, we've created something, and they felt it can't go any further. They didn't know what else to do for it, what to do to it, what to contribute to it, until someone used it. Someone played in it. Someone let them know, oh, this part's really great, but there's a limit on this part. We can't do anything with this. This sucks. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. They need someone to play. That's your job in the entire universe, is to play, not just with matter, but with everything. Absolutely everything in existence. So we're using a very, very simple explanation, right? An example of just the creator and the first stream of angelics, because since then, right, we've got the second stream who came in to create experience. So now you have not only matter, but you also have the full potential of experience in your hand, waiting for you to say, okay, I need more of this, and I would like to try this, and oh, this is so cool. Can you give me some of this? And I want to hang out with this type of person. But no, we've got a world that has trained us to believe that fame and fortune are the only things of worth. And if you don't have either one of those, you're not good enough to participate in your own life. And this is why everything is so imbalanced. Okay, now you've got, once these second stream angelics came in and they were like, okay, we're going to create experience. They're the ones who went, let's create universes. Because a universe is an experience. It's a relationship between different energies that literally sustain each other. Well, the creator and the first stream of angelics were like, whoa, that's amazing. You mean you can take our creation and you can make it into something that cool? Perfect. What else do you need? Do you see? That's what they're waiting for you to do. They want you to create something that brings you joy and brings all kinds of different souls together, because that's what they did with creating the universe. They went, okay, well, What do we need? What are we going to try? And I can tell you, this was not the first try, right? Different stars blew up, right? And we know, I mean, it's not rocket science, right? If there's planets that are too close, they're going to burn. It's going to happen, right? And then they had to figure out gravity and the whole concept of, how it moves. And all of that was created because they were curious and they were exploring what was possible. That's what you're meant to do at that level, guys. And no, it's not complicated. No one's grading you. No one's watching you going, you better do this right. If you screw it up, someone's going to get hurt. No one's doing that because you know the laws of universal existence. They're in this book. If you need a reminder, honestly, there's 9 of them. You know all of them: compassion, respect, truth, purity. There's no pity in there. There's no judgment. That's not universal. We were taught all of those so we would not participate in our potential for creation, let alone co-creation and evolution. Your capacity to participate in evolution is so great. It's next level from what our understanding is. But when you allow yourself to recognize the truth, it's your natural state of being. There are no rules. There are no limits. And so every time you are trapped by a limit, sometimes they look like fear, sometimes they look like judgment, shame, guilt, all of them. We know them. All of those stumbling blocks, right? They're blocks that you chose to put in your path because the universe didn't put them there. No one else can block you. No one. Because there's not a single being on the planet, okay? I don't care how narcissistic they are, because even narcissism doesn't really exist. It's just another label. It's a person who is not whole themselves because they haven't recognized their power and where their power comes from. Not power over other people, guys. If someone's trying to tell you something to be powerful and your power, run. Don't walk away from them, just run. Why? Because honest to goodness, that is the problem with the entire society, and that is the part that's going down. It is sinking like a ship, okay? Because the reality is we're all tired. We're tired of being lied to. We're tired of being controlled and manipulated. And if someone is trying to sell you control, they're selling you fear. And if it's working, it's because your fear is rising to the occasion. And what they want you to know right now, what all these universal beings, they want you to remember. So right now I've got, the entire Universal Council. I've got all billions. Okay. They're giving me billions and billions of human souls in resonance and residence right now. Okay. And what they want you to understand, feel it. I encourage you to feel it, because that's the cool thing about energy. It never lies. Humans lie all the time. Energy never lies. All you have to do is feel it. Sometimes it's scary to accept that level of truth and to come out behind the lies. But the reality is, you're not here to follow rules. You're here to break them. You're here to push existence beyond the limits and boundaries that have already been created. That's what existence is all about. So if you're trying to create something with limits and boundaries, come back, look at your creation, and look at the areas where you're creating something that has limits and boundaries. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's in a relationship. Maybe it's in your own daily routine. Maybe it's in anything. Limits and boundaries do not exist on a universal level. So if you're trying to align yourself with them, you will not accomplish your goals. You will not experience fulfillment. Okay? It's understanding that your mission is to basically prove that they don't exist. That's what humanity is working towards right now, is proving that boundaries and limits, control and manipulation don't exist. So how do we do that? By becoming who we were created to be, who you really already are. Okay? So we start in our personal relationships. We start in our relationship with ourselves. And we look at where we've set up a boundary or a limit. And then instead of going, well, I don't want to create that, because you're still focusing on that one thing. So who would you be without that? Where would your life be without that boundary or limitation? And if a fear comes in, that's the fear you need to look at. That's the dynamic in you, okay, that is feeding that fear in humanity. And this is vital to understand. When you feed a fear in yourself that you have now recognized, you're consciously choosing to participate in carrying that fear forward for human existence. Every single day, every single moment, you allow yourself to recognize that fear and don't do anything about it, is your understanding. It's accepting that you're participating in that dynamic in existence. And right now, we have to get really real with ourselves. We are shifting. We are transforming. We are changing this world. And it starts inside of you. It starts with your relationship with yourself and your relationship with existence. And it's about allowing yourself to see your role is important. It's actually vital to existence. But it's special because there's no rules. There is no rules. There's no limitations. That doesn't mean there's no commitment. So if you have a goal, you want to see what your body can do. You want to see what what your mind can do. And so you get up every day and you do the same thing over and over again until you see the results. That's not a limitation or a rule. That is commitment, and that's you following through. That is you energetically participating with your goal and fulfillment. That's you choosing to have that experience that's bigger than you currently, because you're going to become more than you were. That's not a rule. That's not a limit. It's participation. It's when you choose to not do something or to do something that stops you from reaching goals. That's what they want you to look at. Okay? It's when you say, oh, I can't do that because, or I'm going to do this, when you really know you should be doing something else. I can tell you, I've also had, in the last couple of weeks, I've had a similar experience. And it's funny as they're sharing all this information. I'm like, oh yeah, totally relates to me, because I'm redoing my website. And I went through a couple weeks of, being aware that I have to redo this website, and they showed me how to do it. And me being me, I was like, okay, I'm going to change it. And then I had this awareness of, well, I have to delete a whole bunch of stuff off the website. And my brain went to, oh my gosh, it's like 20 years of work and information. But that was the problem. There was too much information on it, which is fine. So I redid it, and I've been redoing it. And it was last night that I went, I just redid it and it's no good. It's no good. It's no good because it's not the energy that it's meant to be. So now I have to redo it again. It's fine. It's not a big deal, but it's understanding that even the new version, okay, I deleted all kinds of information. I got over that, right? Took me 24 hours to get over that. It was funny. But then I got to a new place where I was like, I'm still going to create this website, and I'm going to create it based on, these fears without even realizing what it was. And then I'm looking at the website and I'm like, nope, still not right. Still looks like everybody else's websites out there. I'm still using that format. That's not what that's not what they want me to do. That's not what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to change how websites are experienced. And of course, my brain didn't want to do that. So I looked for an easier way, changed the website, and was like, yeah, it's good enough. That's what they're talking about. That's what they're saying. Is we look for easier ways because we want it to be comfortable, right? We're worried that if someone lands on the website and it looks totally different and it's completely odd, are they going to walk away? But the truth is, the right people are going to go, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. It's so easy. It's so simple. It's exactly what I wish every website was. And when you follow what the energy is saying, honest to goodness, that's you. That's you saying, wow, that opportunity that I'm being given from the universe, I 100% accept it. I'm going to go play. And playing doesn't mean I'm going to be scared of everything, because that's not play. Playing is fun. It's joyful. It's getting out there and it's being creative in your own right into the energy, the things that are interesting to you, that you're curious about, the things that ignite you and make you smile. Those are the things you're meant to be doing. It doesn't matter what it is, what career you've chosen. Doesn't matter if you're working on cars, maybe you mow lawns for a living. It doesn't matter. Maybe you are a stay-at-home parent. What matters is you're willing to play. And what play means is exploring your potential, going beyond what you did before. And maybe before was yesterday. Maybe it was 2 years ago. Oftentimes we get stuck. We've been doing the same thing for 15, 20 years because that's just how you do it, without even realizing that that's just how you do it. We think we're being revolutionary. We think we're changing it up. But right now you're challenged. They want you to challenge yourself, to look at where you think you're being revolutionary, but really you're hiding behind a fear, where you've created change that you thought was, wow. And they want you to look at it from that universal point of view. You literally have the creator, the first stream of angelics, the second stream of angelics. So you've got all these beings who created matter, all these beings who created experience. They're all just waiting for you to go create something awesome so that they can see what you're doing. And the entire universe is watching and they're just going, okay, so what do you need? What can we do with you? How can we help? How can we participate? And that's how excited you're meant to be with their creation. What can I do with this? How am I meant to? It's not even meant to, because there's not rules. It's, what am I curious about? What do I want to create with this? Let's see what happens. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. And the creator has zero concerns about you blowing anything up, about you breaking anything. Because remember, every aspect of existence is self-healing. Every aspect of existence is self-healing. That's a whole other aspect that we're going to get into in the coming weeks. But right now, they want you to play on a level of understanding that when you play, you're contributing to evolution and existence, which means existence itself will expand based on your curiosities and your participation in those curiosities. So if you're curious about something, okay, or you know you need to do something, or you feel it and you don't want to do it, but you're going to do it anyways, double check. Double check that you're not creating something new out of fear. Double check. And you can share it below. Share it below the video. Whatever it is, I will give you universal feedback on it. Let me know. Because I can tell you, I have to double check for all of mine as well. It's there. The feeling is there. I know when I'm doing something monotonous, which basically means it's been done before, but I'm thinking it's revolutionary. Yeah, it's not. We got to check ourselves and we got to check each other, but we also need to relax in allowing ourselves to receive wisdom from the universe, right? Wisdom from our souls. We we've been bombarded with so much judgment that we don't want to hear anything from anyone. And that's also blocked our ability to communicate with universal beings and our souls. That's why our brains think communication is so hard and we can't do it. Of course you can. You can talk to the entire universe, but you have to want to. You have to remember the only reason you don't want to, just like you don't want to create something revolutionary, is because you're worried about judgment. You got a fear of it. So what are you going to do about it? It's time to let it go, guys. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. And like I said, share what you're learning about your journey, about yourself, about what you want to create. And maybe you don't even know what it is, but boy, oh boy, you feel inspired to start creating. Share that, because that's what we're doing. Is we're raising the vibration of human existence. We're rising because we're coming together to share the truth. And the truth is, you don't need to know what the future looks like because it hasn't been written. How can you even know? Anyone who claims to know is lying. You have potential. You have stories that are unwritten, though. They're not written, but they have potential. And if you choose to write one that is going to hold you in a fear, that's on you. But the universe wants to help, and they can't help you when you create a future based on fear, on limits, on shame, on judgment, guilt. But if you create a future based on your curiosity, because genuinely you just want to know, that's when the whole universe is going to show up. But if you just want to know is based on a fear, it's not going to happen. That's how you know. That's how you know, because if you're not getting the help you want, you got too much fear in what you're trying to create. It's easy. I love you. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.